Everything you desire is already within your reach. You do not need to chase, beg, or force it into existence. The world around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state, a mirror of your assumptions and beliefs. When you force something, you affirm its absence. But when you assume its reality, you invite it effortlessly into your life. The key is not struggle, but faith. Faith that what is meant for you is already on its way. Surrender to the divine timing, for what you seek is also seeking you. Everything you desire is already yours the moment you assume it to be. The world you see, the circumstances you encounter, and the opportunities that appear before you are not random. They are the outward projections of your inner state. This is the foundation of the law of assumption. You do not need to force anything to happen because nothing is outside of you. Every experience, every success, and every connection that enters your life is drawn to you by the consciousness you hold. If you believe you must struggle, then struggle will define your journey. If you assume that things must be difficult, then difficulty will shape your experience. But the moment you embrace the truth that what you seek is already seeking you, you move from effort to effortless creation. There is no need to manipulate, chase, or exhaust yourself in an attempt to make things happen. The mere act of forcing is an admission of doubt. It is an internal confession that you do not yet believe in the reality of your desire. But consider this: when you know something is already yours, do you feel the need to force it? If you order a meal at a restaurant, do you run to the kitchen to make sure the chef prepares it? No, you sit back, knowing with certainty that it is coming. This is how the law of assumption works. The moment you assume something is yours, reality begins to shift to match that assumption. Every great success in this world has been created first within. The people who rise above mediocrity, who achieve what others call impossible, are those who live in the feeling of their desire fulfilled before it ever appears in physical form. They do not waste energy questioning when or how. They rest in the certainty that it is already theirs, and by doing so, they allow it to manifest in the most natural way. This is the secret behind the greatest achievements in history. Not force, not struggle, but an unwavering belief in an outcome before it ever materializes. Your task is not to figure out the details of how something will come to you. That is the work of the unseen forces that govern reality. Your task is to hold the assumption that it is already done. This is why people who are desperate for love often find themselves alone, and those who feel abundant in companionship naturally attract relationships. It is not because life is unfair. It is because life responds to who you are being, not what you are wanting. A person who assumes themselves to be wealthy moves through life with a confidence that attracts opportunities. A person who assumes themselves to be in love radiates an energy that draws affection. A person who assumes themselves to be successful carries an aura that invites success. Forcing something into existence is like digging up a seed to see if it is growing. You must trust the process. You must allow what you have planted in consciousness to take root and bloom in its perfect time. The world is not against you, it is responding to you. When you embody the state of already having what you desire, life will conspire in ways beyond your comprehension to bring it to you. But when you try to force it, you are telling the universe that you do not trust its ability to deliver. Let go of the need to control every detail and instead rest in the knowing that what is truly yours will come, not through effort, but through alignment. Everything that appears in your life is a direct reflection of your imagination. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every circumstance, opportunity, and event is shaped by the images you persistently hold in your mind. You do not need to force the outer world to change. You need only to change within. The moment you accept this truth, you step into the effortless power of creation. Struggle is unnecessary because everything is being formed in consciousness first. What you see with your physical eyes is merely the shadow of what has already been set in motion in the unseen realm. Your imagination is not a place of idle fantasy, it is the workshop of creation. Everything you have ever experienced was first formed within you, whether consciously or unconsciously. Most people live as though they are at the mercy of circumstances, reacting to life instead of realizing they are the ones shaping it. But those who understand the power of imagination know that reality is nothing more than a mirror. It reflects what you assume to be true. If you persist in the assumption that you already have what you desire, the world has no choice but to conform. There is no need to struggle, no need to force, because the outer world must eventually match the inner conviction. When you imagine yourself in possession of your desire, you are not merely daydreaming, you are setting into motion an inevitable chain of events. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you impress upon it and works tirelessly to bring that image into physical reality. This is why those who see themselves as failures continue to fail, while those who see themselves as successful attract success without effort. They are not lucky, nor are they working harder than others. They are simply living in a state of inner certainty, and the world is responding accordingly. There is no need to manipulate, chase, or worry. The more you try to force something, the more you affirm that it is missing. Instead, relax into the knowing that it is already done. If you wish to be wealthy, do not dwell on the lack of money. Imagine the feeling of financial abundance. If you desire love, do not focus on loneliness. Assume the feeling of being cherished and adored. The key is to dwell in the state of fulfillment before the evidence appears. Most people believe they must first see results before they can feel successful, but the truth is the opposite. You must feel the success within before the world can reflect it back to you. This is how all things come into being. The great minds of history did not wait for proof before they believed in their ideas. They saw their visions clearly in imagination long before they became reality. They did not force anything into existence. They simply held onto the inner picture until the world conformed. The same law applies to you. The moment you accept something as true in imagination, it begins to take shape in the unseen. Your only task is to remain faithful to that vision, to persist in the assumption that it is already done. You do not need to struggle or push against the world to get what you want. The moment you enter the state of already having it, forces beyond your awareness begin to shift circumstances in your favor. People, events, and opportunities will rearrange themselves to bring you what you have accepted as true. The law is precise, and it never fails. If you are not seeing what you desire, it is only because you have not yet fully assumed its reality. Let go of doubt, release the need to control, and trust in the unseen power that is always working in your favor. Forcing something to happen is an admission that you do not believe it is already yours. When you push, chase, or manipulate circumstances, you are operating from a place of lack. You are affirming with every action that you do not yet have what you desire, and because your world reflects your inner state, it must continue to deny you. The more you try to force an outcome, the more resistance you create, and the further your desire drifts away. True creation does not come from struggle, but from faith. Faith that what is meant for you is already unfolding, unseen, but inevitable. Faith is not passive. It is the most powerful force in existence. It is the quiet assurance that what you desire is already a reality, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. Most people believe only what they can see, touch, and measure. But the truth is that everything begins in the unseen. Your assumptions dictate your reality. And when you assume something with unwavering conviction, the outer world has no choice but to conform. There's no need to force anything when you know it is already done. Just as a seed does not need to be begged to grow, your desires do not need to be chased. They simply need to be assumed as true. Consider how effortlessly things come to those who truly expect them. The person who assumes they are loved moves through life with confidence, and love naturally flows to them. The one who assumes they are wealthy carries themselves with an air of abundance, and opportunities present themselves. On the other hand, the one who fears rejection and doubts their worthiness will find those fears confirmed in their reality. Life does not give you what you beg for, it gives you what you assume. You do not have to struggle to bring something into your life. When you hold an assumption deeply and consistently, it becomes part of your state of being, and your reality shifts to reflect it. People, circumstances, and events align in ways you could never predict. This is not coincidence, it is the precise operation of the law. But when you force something, when you act out of desperation or impatience, you block the natural flow. You plant a seed but keep digging it up to see if it is growing. This is why so many people remain stuck. They do not trust the process. They believe they must act, manipulate, or demand results instead of simply assuming and allowing. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is not hoping, wishing, or waiting. It is knowing. When you assume something as true, it is already yours. You may not yet see it, but it is unfolding in perfect time. Those who understand this principle live without struggle. They do not chase opportunities, they attract them. They do not plead for love, they radiate it. They do not force success, they embody it. The moment you stop trying to force things and instead assume their reality, you move from resistance to alignment. The world is not something to be fought against, it is something to be mastered from within. If you find yourself struggling, ask yourself, am I acting from faith or from fear? Am I assuming the fulfillment of my desire or am I reinforcing its absence? The answer will always reveal why you experience what you do. Let go of the need to force, to control, to chase. Step into the quiet knowing that what you desire is already on its way. It has no choice but to come, for that is the law. Faith does not push, it allows. And what is yours will always find you. You do not need to struggle to achieve what is already yours. The greatest misconception people have is believing they must work, fight, or beg for what they desire. But creation does not work this way. Reality is not something you must wrestle with. It is something you shape effortlessly from within. When you live in the end, when you assume the feeling of already having your desire, you align yourself with the very forces that bring it into being. Most people spend their lives reacting to what is instead of assuming what will be. They allow their external circumstances to dictate their inner state, never realizing that it is their inner state that creates the external world. Living in the end means stepping into the version of yourself who already has what you seek. It means carrying yourself as the person who already possesses the success, the wealth, the love, or the peace you desire. If you wish to be abundant, embody the mindset of abundance now. If you seek love, feel the presence of love within yourself before it appears outwardly. If you desire success, walk through life as if success is already inevitable. This is not pretending or mere positive thinking. It is an assumption so deeply held that the world must shift to match it. Your external circumstances are not what determine your reality. Your state of being does. You must understand that the world is a mirror. It reflects your assumptions, your beliefs, and your dominant inner state. The reason most people struggle is because they focus too much on what is happening around them instead of what is happening within them. They look at their current lack and assume it to be permanent. They see rejection and believe they are unwanted. They experience financial hardship and accept it as their truth. But reality is fluid. It is shaped moment by your consciousness. If you persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself accordingly. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen, for that is the law. There is no need to force anything when you live in the end. The struggle only exists when you place yourself in a state of waiting, hoping, or doubting. When you assume something is true, you no longer worry about the how or when. You simply rest in the knowing that it is already done. Think of the person who always seems to get what they want with ease. It is not because they are lucky or because life is unfairly kind to them. It is because they expect things to go their way. They do not entertain doubt or question whether they are worthy. They assume, they embody, and as a result, life delivers. This is the key to effortless manifestation. The moment you place yourself in the state of already having what you desire, you stop looking for signs, stop questioning if it is working, and stop worrying about the details. You move through life with certainty, knowing that what is yours is already on its way. The person who is already in love does not worry about attracting love, they radiate it. The person who is already wealthy in consciousness does not chase money, they expect it to flow to them naturally. The person who is already successful does not second guess their abilities. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence that opens doors effortlessly. This is the secret that so many fail to understand. You do not get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is determined by the state you dwell in most consistently. If you live in the state of having, you will receive. If you live in the state of lack, you will continue to experience lack. The law is unwavering and impersonal. It responds not to your wishes, but to your assumptions. If you want to change your reality, do not fight with the external world. Change within. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live in the end, and allow the unseen forces of creation to do the rest. There is a perfect time for everything, and your only task is to trust that what is meant for you is already unfolding. The human mind is conditioned to seek control, to demand results on its own timeline. But true manifestation does not work that way. When you force, when you rush, when you act from impatience, you are affirming that you do not believe in the inevitability of your desire. But when you surrender to divine timing, when you trust that what you seek is seeking you, you move into alignment with the natural flow of creation. Most people do not struggle because their desires are impossible. They struggle because they cannot release the need to control every detail. They watch the clock, they check for signs, they wonder why things are not happening fast enough. But the act of wondering, the act of searching, the act of questioning, these are all signs of doubt. If you knew without a shadow of a doubt that your desire was already yours, would you feel the need to chase it? Would you feel anxious about when and how it would come? No, you would simply live in the certainty that it is already on its way. Everything you desire is already being arranged for you in ways beyond your comprehension. The subconscious mind, the unseen force behind all creation, does not operate according to human impatience. It works in perfect harmony with divine order, bringing forth your desires in the most natural and effortless way. The only thing that delays manifestation is your own resistance, your own need to control the process instead of trusting it. When you let go of the need to force outcomes, when you surrender to the perfect unfolding of events, you will find that what you desire arrives precisely when you are ready for it. Consider how nature operates. A tree does not rush to grow. It unfolds in perfect timing, each leaf, each branch emerging exactly when it is meant to. The seasons do not struggle to change. They flow effortlessly from one into the next. This is the rhythm of creation, the natural order of manifestation. And yet humans resist this order. They demand results now. They push against the current. They force things into being before their appointed time. But nothing forced can ever last. When you try to manipulate events, you act from a place of fear, and fear only creates more delay. When you trust, when you move in faith, the path clears effortlessly. There is no such thing as an unanswered prayer. There are only prayers that have yet to align with the perfect moment of their fulfillment. If something has not yet appeared in your life, it is not because it is being withheld from you. It is because either you are not yet in the state to receive it, or because there is a better version of it being prepared for you. Your only work is to assume the feeling of already having it, to dwell in the certainty of its arrival, and to release all anxiety about when and how it will come. The moment you stop chasing is the moment what you desire begins to move toward you. The moment you stop worrying is the moment doors begin to open. The moment you stop doubting is the moment you allow the unseen forces of creation to work on your behalf. Everything is happening in perfect timing, even when you cannot yet see it. Trust the process. Let go of resistance. Walk in the knowing that what is truly yours can never be lost, and what is meant for you will always arrive at the appointed hour.